Hello, welcome to Words Have Power Murder Hour. I'm Shelly, and this is another terminology video. If you've watched previous videos, you should understand what I'm going to do, and I'm going to first shout out Bailey Syrian for inspiring the whole idea for me to do this on these videos at the beginning. So there's been a little bit of a hiatus between me recording these videos because this stuff, this eye primer, it's from Wet n Wild. It's Photo Focus Eyeshadow Primer. This is of the devil. I am allergic to this stuff, and I will never be using this again, ever. I put just a little bit of this on. I was going to record some videos, which obviously I wasn't able to, because I had a bad reaction to it. It was not a good experience. I felt like my eyelids were going to crack up, just like crack into pieces, like cracked concrete, and fall off of my face. So if you have sensitive skin or any of that, I do not recommend this at all, even remotely, not even a little bit. Seriously, I tried this 3 times. I've tried 3 times now. When I did a skin patch test on like my wrist and my like elbow, inner elbow, I didn't have any reaction to it, but on my eyelids, pain, lots of pain. And it took me like almost a week for my eyes to not hurt and water, and it was just so bad for me, so bad. So I'm gonna see if I can find somebody who doesn't have a bad reaction to that and give it to them and ask them to please take it away from me so that I will never see it again, because I don't ever want to see that again, because that hurt so much. It just hurt so bad. And on my eyes, I'm wearing, let's see, this is from ColourPop. It's called Sweet Talk Pressed Powder Palette. I got a gift card for Christmas, and I got that palette, and I also got this little thing. I think this was like less than $7, something like that. It's of course, so Saguro, I may not be pronouncing that right. A Jelly Much shadow from ColourPop. This stuff is so good. It is so good. I don't have it on right now because I'm making a bunch of videos, because I have a lot of catching up to do, is what is happening. But I just will put a little dab of this on just by itself, and it just nice. It's nice. And this palette makes me so happy. It is the perfect palette. It is just nice. Rather subdued. I like it a lot. I like everything about it. I do have to be careful with the glitteries, like sensitive skin and all that junk. But yes, that makes me so very happy. And with the lighting, the way my skin looks in this lighting is so weird. It's so weird. But it's also the makeup. So I'm wearing this lip liner, which on the thing looks like it's like a kind of a mauve, slightly brownish, but when I put it on in real life, it's a hot pink. But on the camera, it looks pretty good. Weird. I don't know. I am not a lighting guru, although I may have to become one, because This is just weird. Alright, so that is the makeup portion of the video. And remember where that is if you need it. So today we're going to be talking about gaslighting. And gaslighting, to recover from gaslighting, it can take a lot of years and a lot of therapy, and it can be really difficult to overcome the psychological damage, psychological, emotional, just all the way around. So the term gaslighting, and I'm on the Wikipedia page, it's actually pretty good. I don't normally use Wikipedia as a source, but it's not a bad one, and it goes into more detail than other things that I looked at. I'm gonna start doing recordings at like 4 in the morning. Okay, so Gaslight was a play in 1938, performed as Angel Street in the U.S. And it was adapted into a film, by the looks of this, twice, both titled Gaslight. Yeah, okay. So in 1940 and 1944. I haven't seen either of these films, but I've seen like snippets in the training that I went through. And in this film, a couple gets married, and the husband is trying to drive his wife insane, purposefully. And it's pretty good at showing what gaslighting does to a person, right? So, and that ended up becoming the term that people use for gaslighting, for the psychological damage. Okay, so what is gaslighting? Now I'm reading this straight off the Wikipedia page. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation in which a person or a group, yes, covertly sows seeds of doubt on a targeted individual or group. I think that was a typo. Making them question their own memory, perception, or judgment. It may evoke changes in them such as cognitive dissonance or low self-esteem, rendering the victim additionally dependent on the gaslighter for emotional support and validation. Using denial, misdirection, contradiction, and misinformation, gaslighting involves attempts to destabilize the victim and delegitimize the victim's beliefs. Instances can range from the denial by an abuser that previous abusive incidents occurred, to belittling the victim's emotions and feelings, to the staging of bizarre events by the abuser with the intention of disorienting the victim. The goal of gaslighting is to gradually undermine the victim's confidence in their own ability to distinguish truth from falsehood, right from wrong, or reality from delusion, thereby rendering the individual or group pathologically dependent on the gaslighter for their thinking and feelings. True. So, people toss around the word gaslighting quite often without really fully understanding what it means and the harm that it can do to the person who is targeted. And that harm can erode away a person's sense of self-value, self-worth, everything. And it makes you question everything you perceive about the world around you. Is it real or is it true? Are you crazy? Is it just you? And usually gaslighters will try to instill in you the belief that there's something wrong with you. you're the one who's wrong. It's always you who's wrong. You're overly sensitive. You are making a mountain out of a molehill. You're just, you're nuts. And they do that purposefully, because after a while, a lot of the time, people who are gaslit, especially to an extreme, may start to behave in a way that is it looks unstable. They're not actually unstable. They're being heavily abused. Only you can't see the wounds. It's all in the mind. And, it's psychological, it's emotional, it's different aspects of your life. And this is a tactic that a lot of abusers will use to be able to take control over a person's life. So then they can go ahead and socially isolate them and abuse them financially or economically, or just do as they wish with their targeted victim, right? So if you are a friend or a loved one of someone and you think that they're being abused, and let's say your friend who's being abused says something and their SO contradicts them, right? And makes light of what they say or tells them they're wrong or etc., whatever. Pay attention to that, because that can be a huge indicator of the abuse that you're seeing is really minuscule in comparison to the abuse that you are not seeing, right? So, I've had people ask me, well, how can I help my friend if I think, if I've seen gaslighting, if I've seen their SO gaslighting them and whatnot? Well, if you can get to a place or somehow finagle talking to them alone, let them know that they are not crazy. They're not, all these things that the abuser might be telling them. You can try to counterbalance the gaslighting that is happening. And I do highly recommend that, so that the victim hopefully will know that they do have someone who sees their value and who cares about them and will be there for them. Oddly enough, in a lot of cults, there's also gaslighting. In politics, there's gaslighting. So, and gaslighting is such a kind of loose thing. Like, everyone has a right to feel valid in their opinions and their thoughts and, what they're expressing, right? Gaslighting breaks that all down. And it is hard to heal and recover from being gaslit, because it's not just a here and there thing. A lot of the time, gaslighting is a continuous form of abuse, right? So an abuser may not be able to beat the crap out of their victim as much as they want, but they can gaslight. They can just keep on and on and on with that. One victim that I spoke with one time told me that she got to the point where she just didn't say anything. She would just yes, no, whatever, as would be needed. But she didn't say anything because she realized that if she said anything, her abuser would kind of use her saying anything, really, as a means of tearing her down. And that's what gaslighting is. It's tearing a person down. So yeah, I mean, with physical abuse, you heal from that, usually, hopefully. Um, you know, after a period of time, it could be a couple days, a couple weeks, a couple months, right? But with gaslighting, that takes a lot of work to heal from gaslighting. And it's a lot of internal, mental, really, I think that's where self-care and focusing on self-love comes in. I do personally think that if a person has proof that they have been gaslighting and coercive control should be crimes because of the damage they do to people. I mean, but it's hard enough to really get any kind of real justice when it comes to domestic violence at all, or SA. It's, I don't know. But it should be a crime because it is abuse, and it does work in with all of the other aspects of abuse. Let's see. And one of the therapists that I spoke with said that it was their experience that the more gaslighting and kind of grooming and that cycle of abuse, right, that seemed to kind of carry along with how bad PTSD from the abuse might be. I don't know if she was saying that based on some studies that she read or what, but it kind of makes sense to me, So, and this is talking about something that is really important too. And I'm reading this from the Wikipedia page about gaslighting. The illusionary truth effect, a phenomenon in which a listener comes to believe something primarily because it has been repeated so often, may occur to a victim during gaslighting. There's no may about it. That does occur during gaslighting. When you have somebody repeatedly telling you you're stupid and, horrible and all of these horrible things, right? Or then if you find, you catch your SO cheating and they gaslight you on it and turn it around and try to flip it and make you look like the bad guy. Or, in whatever way the gaslighting is occurring, right? When you've got different forms of abuse heaped on top of the gaslighting, that's all breaking that person down. And after a while, the victim is going to be like, screw it. I don't even want to think that deep anymore. I don't even want to try. I'm just too wounded, right? So yeah, that's a big one right there. And in this, sociopaths and narcissists frequently use gaslighting tactics to abuse and undermine their victims. Yep. And if an abuser has physically harmed their victim, but then they don't want to face that, right? They don't want to suffer any consequences for that. They don't want to face their truth and reality of themselves, so they'll downplay it like it wasn't really a big deal. They didn't really do anything. You're just making more out of it than there really was. You should just get over it. It wasn't... That is some BS. You don't have to put up with that. If you're in an abusive relationship, you don't have to stay in. You can find a safe way out. You're not stupid. You're not unworthy. You can find someone better after you've healed. You are that someone better. You don't have to stay in the abusive relationship, and you deserve better. To whoever is watching this video, if you're in an abusive relationship, I don't know you. I have probably never met you. But it doesn't matter. No one deserves to be abused like that. Alright, so this is another short-ish episode because I have so much catching up to do. And all of this is going to come up later in the true crime things that I'm going to cover. True crime cases. And I will point them out as examples. Okay. So, remember domestic violence, National Domestic Violence Hotline? You can call them. They will stay on the phone with you for as long as you need. They will even cover for you if your abuser walks in the room and you're talking to them. They'll act like they're Pizza Hut or something, you know. Because if you can speak with them and come up with a safety plan to get out of that relationship, figure out what resources you need, get everything pulled together, you can get out and you can have a beautiful life on your terms. You do not have to stay in an abusive relationship. You don't deserve to be treated like that. I don't know you, but I love you. And if you're a family member or a friend of someone who's in an abusive relationship, please be patient and be there for them when they need you, because they will need you. All right, remember, your no should be respected. If your no is not respected, cut that person out of your life. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Bye, y'all. Hello. If you have enjoyed this video, and if you're enjoying my channel, then please like, subscribe, share, follow, ring the bell, and hit all. Comment, all of the above. It all helps with the algorithm to get the videos up so that people who need them can see them. And that is the whole point of what I'm doing. Thank you, and have a good day, night, or whatever. Bye. See you later.